Now, Everybody Hates Chris came out in the 2000s. It lasted about 4 seasons, and Everybody Hates Chris is actually based on the comedian Chris Rock life back in the 70s. But because he thought making this series makes more sense making the 80s, because everybody gave too much love in the 70s, not enough love in the 80s. But it doesn't really matter if the time period was incorrect, because it's all the story of Chris Rock Unbroken, how he was sort of raised in middle school to high school. Only lasted 4 seasons, and season 4, the finale, left this sort of cliffhanger that Chris Rock did or did not graduate. But if you're a fan of Chris Rock, he does tell you his special once a little while, does say, yeah, I did not graduate. He sort of make fun of that. But besides that, no one really expecting a new season or reboot series of Chris Rock called Everybody Still Hate Chris in animated form. But fans are excited, but also a little disappointed, especially if you're an animation fan, because the animation doesn't look that great. It's sort of kind of questioning maybe this is the right direction or not, because if you don't know, animation always been belittled in Hollywood. Every time they pitch a new animated project, they have to look super simplistic, almost copying the same art style as uh, like Family Guy or The Simpsons. The simplicity is the game, and people believe this is the right way to do a adult animated series, especially in a comedy. And you know what? No, and this is sort of the disappointment of animation fans. Like you keep doing this over and over again. But to be fair, these are based on the actors who play Chris Rock's parents, friends, and family. They cannot quite literally take their looks, so they can easily the company who makes the project can own the rights of their looks, and the actors do not like that. So this is the reason why they do not look distinct enough as the original actors, because once again the actors doesn't like that. It feels if they do, they get abused, taking their likeness away from them, and they use against them. This is the reason why the actors or character designers do not look very similar to the original, just to let you know. But besides that, Comedy Central dropped the first episode on YouTube, and this is sort of my first impression. Of course, before I get started, my name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation. And yes, my voice is sort of kind of broken today. I am a little sick, specifically just the voice, but the rest of it I'm fine. But hopefully this is not very distracting or annoying. But all that, this is the first time on my channel. My name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation, not just animation reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, you like how it's going, you like to help my channel, put like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only thing you need to do. If not, that's fine. If you do, thank you, because of you, I am getting close to my main goal of 2,000 subscribers. But besides that, thank you to people who do put like, comment, and share. Now, let's get started of my first impression of Everybody Still Hates Chris. Well, this first episode is really confirms this is not a reboot. It's a continuation. And that is sort of a surprise, because nobody really knows what Comedy Central meant that everybody bringing back, but we make it a anime series. And people were sort of confused. What do you mean, a reboot, a continuation, a reimagining? And they never clarified what they actually mean. In fact, fans were worried this was sort of a terrible take, something like Good Times of the original classic Good Times. And they clarified, it's nothing like the Good Times. This is Chris Rock. They bring the same team who did the original series and did the same thing, just in anime form. And you know what? It works. In fact, believe it or not, it's really hard to pull it off in animated series. There have been a few attempts to bring an old show back in animated form, but usually kind of fails. I've only seen maybe one or two shows actually succeeding that. One called The Chavo from Mexico, and the other one called Quarter Gas. It's sort of a ripoff of, sort of a clone of the Seinfeld. That's the only two series I've seen that successfully pulled that off. And this one is the third series who pulled that sort of trend. It shows you can actually make a good series based on a live action series in an anime series. But the only problem is it works because the genre it fits like Mac in the Middle. Mac in the Middle and everybody hates Chris. It's the same genre. That sort of experimental sort of kind of camera work that is sort of a comedy, but did it sort of like a cartoon. Well, the animations just sort of over exaggerating the lighting, the proportions, or the angles, almost like a cinematic sort of point of view and a television sort of streaming or TV series. And that's why it works so much because it sort of amplifies that. And animation does that efficiently. It makes sense to make this an animated series, but it also makes sense kind of continue the series with it animated because it's sort of hard to continue the same series, even that the kid actor who played Chris is now much older, and it doesn't make sense to bring him back. It doesn't look like the same age because it's been almost like what 10 years. In other words, yeah, you can tell the difference. He is older, so decided to make it his anime series. Now, this fourth, the first episode is sort of a continuation where it left off. That season four, Chris did not know did he graduate or not to the next level, and they continue on that storyline because this is a continuation. But I love this episode. It's sort of an introduction of all the cast that you forgot, or also people who not see the original can be easily introduced by each one of them. Each one of them fit the same chemistry of the original cast. In fact, they are the original cast. So everybody replayed their part and never miss a beat. I think the animation really helps out the absurdity of the situation and Chris also because the whole point of this first episode is all about Chris sort of figuring out what to do next, how to let's decide if he continue going to high school, even though he's sort of believable, and also his teacher sort of harass him and abuse his power with Chris, till he decided to be not decided, more accident to be in gangs, but he's just sort of pretending by accident, not sort of blow up his face. He was sort of kicked out because the color he is in the situation in that time period. But he's sort of ashamed not to tell his parents till his parents sort of finally find out and ask him, why you let this happen? Why you didn't tell us or stop it? And that's the thing. That's the thing why Chris Rock, everybody hates Chris, is so successful. The honesty, the hard work, the pressure, that moments make this animated project successful because it was honest. Exactly like the original series, they exactly pulled it off. That honesty, that sort of maybe premature pressure of their own child. Maybe they did not open, they did not realize actually talking the situations his son really is, and how their parents finally realized we had to step up and help our child. And that's why this works so much. It's just very likable, very charming, and also very truthful about life. Like if you're good looking enough, you can get away with almost anything or have an easier life if you're a person of color or not, or other little things like that. Just honesty makes this series just so great because never like pretends that's not a thing. It is, and I think this is why people always remember everybody hates Chris. The honesty. On top of all this, the animation is a little janky. And let's be honest. It's the same thing as sort of Family Guy. You know, I feel people are a little disappointed of that animation, but what do you expect? Chris Rock is not an animator. If he was, he probably puts his foot down and explains he need better animation or better deal to make this animation work, but he's not. 100% sure he's not the one who stepped forward asking another a season or a reboot. I guess in many comedy sessions, the one who asked him and told him it had to be an anime series or something like that. Honestly, we don't know what was the conversation, but we find out in the near future after this series get cancelled. But do I understand the fans did like this? This feels like the original show. Even that they bring everybody back, the same actors, the same, I think, some the same writers. But other than that, you could tell This is filled with love and fans of the original. But I don't know that how you felt about this, because they do a lot of changes of the original, like how Chris' little brother now goes to the same school as him. But the only problem is, I think this is why it hits so hard in relatability, is how Chris always has L's, especially his brother is the more good looking one, the look like the oldest, but he's not the oldest, he's the youngest. Everybody pretends, oh, you're the little brother. Your little brother is the oldest. And that, no, that's not wrong. They even said that to his face. Once more, this is the reason why you get this show. This is the reason why people are related to this show. Even if you're not a person of colors, getting L every single day, trying to survive, that what hits hard. In this show, delivered. Even though slight changes here and there, the show works still pretty well. It like didn't miss a beat. In fact, I'm gonna ask this: how you felt about this? You feel there was well executed besides the animation? Because the animation, that's the thing a lot of people irks them. But all of that, it works. It's positive work. But we don't know discontinue the strength of the rest of the season. This can easily fail because things happen, miscommunication, or they didn't figure out how to pull it off. But what's more, that's the future. We wait to see what happens. But other than that, are you happy? Are you glad? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.